Hey guys, how's it going? Cat's out of the bag. I am so excited to have a dear friend of mine on with me today. This is Chelsea Cruz. We have known each other for a few years now, and she has been on an absolutely incredible journey. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kat Hart. I am known as Fairy Godmother, and I am very excited to bring stories of inspiration to people around the world that just want to find themselves and live a better life and know what it means to truly just explore this world at their highest vibrational frequency, to bring joy and love to the world, and to just find themselves. It takes a journey. It takes all of us to really get out of our shell and really figure out who we are and find that love for ourselves. So, yes, Chelsea, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. And thank you for coming on the show and just talking about your journey and everything that you've been through, because you've been through a lot, especially recently. But you have a pretty incredible story. So, first of all, in the last probably 10 months or so, you've been traveling around the US. And what inspired you to want to take that journey? What inspired you to want to just go out on the road and kind of throw caution to the wind?
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for having me. And this was actually, like I've said since the start, a spiritual journey for me.
Yeah.
And it was also a continuation of my healing journey, which I started, I believe, actively and intentionally back in 2020, like a lot of us, around the pandemic time. And also, this was a journey for me, for my inner child. This was
Nice.
something, being growing up on Guam, growing up on the islands. This was a cool journey for me to embark on, to explore different places, different cultures, different experiences, etc.
Nice.
So that's a little bit about what inspired me, what encouraged me to do so. It was very difficult in the beginning because there was a lot of doubt, there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of questions about how, in particular, in even more particular financially, because I know that would be a good main focus for a lot of people, especially in traveling and making sure we have our safe shelter, transportation, food, water, basic essentials, inner child play, like I say,
All great
on
points.
my GoFundMe and on my content, my social media content as well. So
is that really how you've been able to fund your journey, is by the kindness of others, helping to give to you along the way, and you doing your readings, reaching out to people spiritually and helping them on their journey as well?
Yeah, the beginning of the journey, I was doing my readings. I was working on TikTok. I was doing the podcast every here and again.
Nice.
It was really a lot of work on TikTok, a lot of live streaming, and it was a mixture of doing tarot readings, or energy readings, as we say, and also like having conversations.
Nice.
So I'd come up with a certain topic for a certain week or whatever, and that's what we would be covering on.
Very
and it's
cool.
normally topics that are like lived experiences, life experiences, and the journey along the way. So
Nice.
it all ties in.
Now, you said this was a healing journey for you. What were you healing from? What really drove you? You said you were kind of doing some inner child work, and you really wanted to heal. And that's such an important journey for all of us. But what were you truly trying to heal from? Was there something in particular, or was it just life circumstances, or?
Yeah, excellent question. Thank you for asking that, by the way, because that's like me asking myself as well. Again, I started going on, I experienced early childhood trauma. So that's since childhood. And that's a word or a reality that I wasn't aware of, especially growing up on the island of Guam. The social, emotional, or childhood traumas and stuff like that, the language or the teachings, I won't say was not there, but it was very like seldom. Now in today, we have like more therapists, licensed therapists, counselors, more advocates and certain things for that, like for troubled youth, etc. But I went through a lot of early childhood traumas, and I never
Was it
really
just expected to deal with it on Guam? Was it just like everybody went through trauma and it was just something you were expected to keep quiet about and deal with? And
yeah, well, it's kind of like everybody in life, right? Like everybody like goes through different trauma and different shit I don't know, can we like language on
Oh
this
yeah,
thing?
no,
Like,
you're good.
we
We're all
all go
grown.
through,
We're all grown.
we all go through different shit, and like, nobody really wants to talk about like our trauma or life
Right.
hardships and our insecurities and our the basic saying of familiar saying of like what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors, right? So yeah, it was a lot of it was a mixture of like mental, emotional, psychological, etc. And I had a really good life and I was really well taken care of. That's why on some of my journalings I write like, how can a kid that has like the stuff like clothing and shelter and a good education and loved ones around, etc., like could go through trauma. But as I started growing up, and even as I came out to America, and even more as I went to college and studied like early childhood traumas, adolescent and teen behaviors and sorts like that, did I actually understand that even something like emotional trauma, like abandonment, is
Right.
trauma. Something like, your mother making you feel consistently like you are second best to your siblings or everybody else, etc.,
Yeah.
is a form of emotional trauma, that abandonment.
And so many people go through that.
Yeah.
And because the parents are
yeah.
dealing with something, and then that kind of
Correct.
falls on their kids.
Mhm.
So they're going through emotional trauma, and without
Mhm.
them dealing with it, it basically falls on their children,
Mhm.
and the cycle continues.
Yeah, so that's why we would say generational traumas or generational cycles.
Generational traumas.
While also like acknowledging as my ancestors and my spiritual teams, which I'm all learning and growing in, what that means, have reminded us that we also have generational blessings and generational gifts. So to in regards to the healing, it was just something that I wanted to experience and go. I saw it really important. I saw how the childhood experiences impacted my life, like how it impacted maybe even traumatic experiences in regards to finances, how it impacted myself. So as I was going through my spiritual journey and my healing journey, I saw how that linked in with not only myself, but past parts of me, including my family members. And if I wanted to, as we say, like ascend or heal or grow, we're eventually going to have to dig into those parts.
Yeah.
So a part of going on this journey was allowing myself to do so. And it was in really unexpected ways.
So would you say that was like worthiness issues for you, like actually feeling worthy of receiving, feeling worthy of accepting help? Or like you kind of mentioned even your financial situation, how you felt about receiving abundance in other ways. I mean, because obviously you accepted the kindness of strangers, people helped you along the way. People on your social media helped you. So this journey was kind of funded a lot. I mean, obviously by your hard work as well, you doing the work, but the kindness of strangers.
Yeah, it was
and
a balance of both. Yeah,
you really had to open up your heart and accept, let that in. And did you deal with worthiness issues? Did you deal with feeling like that was something you could do, and it was something that you were worthy of receiving?
Excellent turnaround. Yeah, excellent question. It definitely was. So first of all, speaking of worthiness, I maybe had some subconscious feelings behind my back, behind my mind, behind my back. No, like for real. That's like chatter, like Holy Spirit, behind my back, behind my mind. You know how we say. But if I was even worthy to go on this journey, or if I was even worthy to like complete this journey and accomplish this journey, like I said in the beginning, and I always say when everybody takes the time to actually read my story and what I shared, it was full surrender. And this is what my journey is called. It's called In Good Faith Travel Journey. And it literally, I had to, I got fired from my job. So I had to, create a way to make money, but I was also starting my social media platforms, etc. So I did have to learn to receive. But as we said, I also had to learn to feel worthy of receiving. But another level to it, another layer to it is also feeling worthy to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because there's all those different parts there. So that was a little bit.
How did your family feel about you undergoing this journey? Were they supportive? Were they concerned? I mean, obviously there's safety issues, for being alone on the road.
I love that. Especially as a woman.
Yeah.
They exclaim, yeah. I love these questions. It was a mixture of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I would say supporting the journey was definitely at the bottom of the list when it came to the fast. It's okay though, because this could be a learning lesson for all of us, especially for women, but also for men too, because I mean, all genders travel.
Of course.
But My mom was worried about it in the beginning. And as I started going on my spiritual and my healing journey, which a part of that was going back to West Bloomfield, Michigan, which is where she was staying with my stepdad, where I didn't want to go, by the way, because I was just at a point in my journey where I was kind of disconnecting away from the family, just because they weren't understanding, nor did I notice did they want to understand my journey, and was more so giving the energy of resistance and non-support. And I really needed acceptance and understanding because it's my journey. And so to draw back to the question, there was a lot of concerns of safety. There was a lot of concerns of my mental capacity and stability, which I kind of felt some type of way when I started learning that. But I also started learning that Mother God had to show me through that adversity and that heartbreak of me walking away from my family that sometimes some people are just not going to be supportive of your journey or want to understand it or take the capacity to do so. And at first, that really affected me, and I felt really bad because this is my family.
It's your family.
You want them to. This is something important to me and special to me, so you would want your support system to appreciate it and love it and, you know, cheer you on. But that wasn't the case. And I had to see that a big part of the spiritual journey that I believe we need to, and we're going to, so we can healthily manifest that into our collective, is that we need to talk about those hard parts on the spiritual journey where sometimes we have to leave family members. And in my case was my own mother. My dad, my real dad, he was a lot more supportive of the journey. He did also have some safety concerns, especially that I was a woman, but he also reminded me along my journey, as he was supporting me, that I always have a strong line and lineage of women walking right behind me, rocking right next to me and in front of me. So
I love that.
It's been a mixture, a lot of both in regards to fam. A lot of my support came from the social media family, that my TikTok family.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then you know, everybody else along the way. So
yeah. So did you have special safety check-ins? Like, did you have to check in with people at a certain time, or did you have certain things where if you were unsafe, you could reach out to somebody? I mean, did you ever, you know, did you have like, you know, kind of safety measures in place?
Oh my God, that's a great question. And thank you for asking that, because we should encourage like safety measures, especially when we're talking about travels, especially like the type of travels that I'm doing, where I've been surrendering to my reality, where sometimes I have the funds and the means for shelter and hotels and Airbnbs or people hosting me, and sometimes I don't. So there's different kind of travels I'm learning now. But to answer the question, I kind of did. It was mostly like 70% spiritual safety and check-in. But along my way, I did, and mostly in the beginning, because that was when I first started the journey, I would tell who was hosting me, like where I was going or what was the next step, etc. And I had a friend or two that I can text at any time and tell any time along the journey, and I would trust that. But this was mostly a journey where it's like I really didn't have anybody. And I do want to acknowledge that I do have people, and I did have people along the path. So I do want to acknowledge that there were people that was there for me. But again, this was mostly a spiritual safety check-in. It was literal, like when I say faith, the faith to me was literally, again, in the beginning, me making my way through my social media, through my live streams, through my public speaking and my works, etc., and truly surrendering. And the surrender didn't come until I got banned from my TikTok, my first TikTok account. So the spiritual check-ins, it was just this. Even though in the beginning of the journey, I didn't fully feel it, and I was like tripping and stressing out, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? As I've mentioned, there was this just sense of a energy carrying me and a sense of protection. And security.
So very spiritual.
Very spiritual. And in the beginning, I didn't even know what that meant. Like saying very spiritual. I'm barely on my 4 years of my spiritual awakening in this moment. Because I want to note, since I was a child, now that I'm learning about spirituality, the universe, science, God, creation, etc., higher selves, etc., I'm learning that I've been very, awoken since childhood. It's just that programming that they do to us since birth, and then the remembrance.
Well, you only know what you're taught. You could feel more, you can feel things internally, but you know what you're taught. So with your family, did they start supporting you more as you were on the journey? And now that you're basically at the end of your journey, I mean, do they feel differently? Are they proud of you, or has things changed or shifted with your family?
That's an excellent question. And I would love to say that, yeah, they changed and shifted and they supported me. But in fact, I wouldn't say that the support got worse. It just became non existent. And it became
Mm.
non existent because I literally had to walk away from my family.
Oh,
Like I
wow.
said again, in the beginning of the journey, I really wanted my people to understand and support, most primarily my own mother. This was like, if there was any voice or opinion or any, like, yeah, you should really do that, I
Yeah.
think that is like, I'm concerned about your safety. And that's a little weird. How are you going to survive when you are building your income
Right.
for your basic essentials? However, I really think you should do that. But I did not receive that from my mother. I am in a space in my healing journey where I'm currently not speaking to my mother. However, I am in such a peace and understanding of just her whole fucking existence and who she is and how she operates. And unfortunately, I'm learning that in the spiritual world, we come into contact with karmic relationships.
Yeah.
And I'm learning through my lived experience and the text that I read in the available information out there, is that we come together in these lifetimes to practically heal or forgive the karmic past.
Yeah.
And we continue to go through these cycles, we continue to go through these similar energies, um, until we finally learn the lesson and we finally walk away and we finally learn our truth. And I'm grateful for all these questions and how they're aligning, because this is amplifying to me that I'm starting to accept myself and learn my
Yeah.
truth. And it literally took me walking away from my, anytime me and my mom go through any type of thing, I always call her, I always check into her. It's always like a forgiveness thing. In a perfect world and for everyone, yeah. But now that I'm walking with God fully, and I understand that as just like a higher thing than me. When I
Wow.
had nobody else to call, when nobody else showed up, and I took the moment to sit my butt down and listen, and this voice came, I had to trust that voice,
Wow.
because that voice showed up for me again when I didn't even want to show up for myself and I was giving up for myself. And I'm so grateful that my grandparents in the beginning sowed that seed. And although, yes, it was with Catholic religion and just these different trainings and traditions and stuff that are not so healthy for us in today, or maybe not so accessible to everybody and all peoples, it grew and it fruited into something where now I'm asking the questions and I'm deciding. And I, again, it's an energy of this,
So just
like,
taking ownership of your life,
Mhm,
really.
mhm,
I mean,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
And this has been a journey of finding yourself. This has
Mhm.
been a journey of you really discovering who you are, trusting your higher power,
Mhm.
and trusting the universe to guide you in the proper directions.
Mhm.
I know we've talked a few times about just the direction, because you didn't necessarily, now you did sort of have a plan,
Mhm.
right, of where you were going, what states you were going to visit.
We had a plan. We had a clear plan. I had a clear plan.
Now, how close
it was
did
just
your
the how.
journey? How close did your journey actually match the plan that you created?
Pretty precisely.
Pretty precise. So you had it all planned out before you started.
And
How many
these were
states did you hit?
these were divinely orchestrated locations. So these were specific locations. And when I asked why to these locations, I didn't even feel a sense of asking why. It was just like this boom, like the spirit came into me, was like, here, here, here. I believe it was like 16.
16
It was
states
16, yeah.
in
This would
about
be
10
our
months.
final state in about 10 months. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, well, no, 13 states, 16 or so locations.
Oh, got
Because
it.
there were
Got
some
it.
states where I stopped through multiple cities,
see.
like here in Washington.
So, along the journey, so now looking back on the journey, is it clear to you why you stopped where you stopped?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And I love it now, because now it's like I'm more confident, I'm more trusting. And obviously, there's some times where I'll double guess or I'll kind of like maybe take a pause or get a little distracted. But now I have that experience of fumbling and that fear and that not knowing and those concerns. so now I can confidently trust in me and trust in my choices. So like you said, this was pretty much like me taking ownership within myself, and basically as well like trusting myself.
And so many signs along
And
the
the
way.
path. Yep.
So many signs
So many
along the way.
signs. Yep.
From what you've told me, just
So many
synchronicities
signs,
and
Like
things
our
coming
green
up,
ducky
and yeah,
that we
the ducks.
won. That
We
cat
won these ducks
won.
today. Yeah. So I mean, just an absolutely incredible journey. So what for other people, like if someone else wanted to take this journey, what would you say to them? What would you encourage them to do? Do you wish you would have done something different? Like, is there something you feel like you could have done to make this trip more comfortable, better? Do you think you should have saved up some money, or do you like the fact that it was kind of throwing caution to the wind? And what advice would you give somebody that wanted to take a similar journey, life journey, to really find themselves? Because sometimes we need to get out of our own way and take those leaps of faith.
Yeah. I would just say to believe in yourself, and believe in your journey, and believe in that path, whatever that might look like. And sometimes we may not know what that looked like. When I first started my journey, I have a physical map, and I wish I could show it you guys. But like I shared with Kat, I left my luggage in the Greyhound bus, and it's in the luggage. But a part of the journey, like my ancestors and Mother God gave me some of these quotes or these sayings, and I wrote it on my paper. And one of it was, you don't have to see the full path in order to start walking the path. So when I say like in good faith, it was literally like, go to North Carolina, go to Georgia, go to Florida. And then it was like boom, boom, boom. And then it was like, go here, go here, go here, boom, boom, boom. So it was literally like, as I was taking my steps, the path was unfolding for me.
Wow.
And it was a path that literally everyone told me, like, are you sure you can't do that? Go ahead and do, like you should work and save money, or, you should just do all these different things. I found that a lot of it was about financial criticism and financial judgment more than it was safety. So really, now that I'm saying that out loud, I kind of be like, I don't even know if I want to take advice from you, because you ain't even tripping. You didn't even mentioning if I'm safe, but you try to talk to me about financial advice or financial suggestions.
Well, that's about them though, right?
Correct. That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. So it was all a projection of them. But now that I'm ascending, healing, accepting other people more, I'm even more compassionate to them, because that just shows me that is their self-talk. And I'm actually talking myself into it. So to advise or to encourage other people, I would just say to believe in yourself and to take the journey. And even when you don't believe, because especially in the beginning of my journey, like this is month 10 on my journey, for the first 8 months I was dragging my feet. I was in survival mode.
Wow.
I just kept questioning it month after month after month. And I got stronger and I got stronger and I got stronger. Yeah. But that's why I say that it's like, even in the moments of doubting, even in the moments of fearing, even in the moments of not knowing, I still trusted what, again, and I say Mother God or Jesus specifically, I'm working with these different ascended masters and different higher level beings, my grandmother as my ancestor, as my guide, my inner child, my higher self. I said, I have to trust this. Yeah. There is no turning back. Yeah. There was moments in the point where I was like, I'm going to go back. And I knew there was only a few places that I can go back to, maybe a few friends that, was always opening their home to me, and for sure my family. But I knew that I could not go back to my family at all. And I know that a lot of people, especially in the Pacific Islander culture or any culture type of family, will be like, your family is first, your family is everything, family over, etc. You gotta work with them. But for me specifically on this journey, if I wanted to grow, if I wanted to heal, if I wanted to ascend, it could not be around them. And that was the hardest thing that I ever had to do. Wow. So just believing and doing it anyway. There's going to be people that's going to tell you otherwise, including yourself. But if you truly believe, and I'm so proud of myself, I feel emotional internally, but I also feel like emotionally mature because I feel the emotion, but I'm like still speaking and it's still, I'm still flowing. But it's like, I'm proud of myself for actually believing, because that's something that I've always struggled with. And that has a lot to do with those childhood traumas and programmings. So internalizing.
Do you feel that you accomplished what you set out for? Do you think that you accomplished?
I like that.
The healing? Did you receive the healing that you desired so badly taking this journey?
Yeah. And I don't think it was like my whole life was dedicated to healing. Like I said, it was like a multiple of like the healing journey, going on a spiritual journey, which for me, now that like spirituality is popular, everybody's awakening and stuff like that. For me, spirituality, it's like it's really like real love, man. And it's like
Yeah,
I've been writing like poems and
I
stuff, and
love that.
I've been saying like the world is not familiar with my type of love or my type of like childlike energy. And I used to be like a little insecure to say that because people would be like, well, who do you think you are? But now that I'm healing and
I
now
get
that
that a lot
I'm
too.
growing,
I get that. You know, I get that as
I
fairy
know that that's a
godmother.
projection.
So,
Yeah. So
I love that childlike quality, not only in
yeah.
myself, but in you. And when I see it in other people, I'm very connected to that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I feel very accomplished. I'm very
Nice.
proud of myself and I feel very cool. I actually read one of your books over there that talked about burning the or burning the boat. It's right there.
Yep.
And
Matt
it was
Higgins, Burn the Boats. Yep.
Matt Higgins burn the boats. It was
Excellent.
talking about not like a lot of famous people or people in business, etc. They want to chase like the next big thing and the next development and the next growth with it, which is absolutely understandable, right? Like it says, and
Right.
is the goal and stuff, but to acknowledge along the way that it's actually the journey.
Yeah.
So like for example, to close with this, when one of my friends back home messaged me on Instagram, she DM'd me and she was like, hey girl, you know, I don't like seeing you struggle and suffering. Did you ever consider going back to work or going into government housing and, you know, getting on government programs and stuff like that? And then she also expressed like, you know, I'm a full-time mom and I got like X amount of jobs and I'm doing this and that and the third, and I think it's cool that you're going on your spiritual journey and really surrendering to God, but you also need to like make a way for yourself. And I messaged her back and I said, hey, sister, I appreciate you, you know, sharing your expression and stuff, but I just want people to know that I'm not really suffering. And I guess that's on me for me to express more publicly, since oftentimes I am asking for a donation for safe shelter. That's why I said the survival mode mentality, which is very valid and real. And I accept myself and I honor myself for that. I call back all my energy and power from whenever I abandoned myself in shame of needing help and needing support. But I honor
That's
that
very powerful,
because if I told her, if I had been out, like, and I told her, and I tell my family and I tell anybody, you're talking to it, you're singing to the choir, thinking like, I'm a hustler, I'm a grinder, I go make my money, I go make my way. Any family member, anybody who knows me knows that. So for the people who actually really know me, to see me on this journey, they'll be like, what happened to her? There's some going on. And the average person who is not into their awareness yet will be like, there's something wrong with her. There's something going wrong with her. There's something happened. They'll comment on the mental illness and etc. Not fucking knowing a damn clue about mental health awareness, BTW. And they'll be like, she lost it. But to a awoken person or somebody who has an open heart, they'll, you know, see.
They understand.
They'll understand that journey that I went on.
So many people are so shut down because people fear what they don't understand.
Yeah.
And so there's so many people that think if you do something outside of the norm, or you're coloring outside of the proverbial box, you know, you're coloring out of the lines, that there's got to be something wrong with you, or there's something going on. And I mean, and
it's not the same
internal struggle.
The society
is real for everybody, but it's also unique for everybody. And it's so unfair to judge people based on their own journey. You know, so what is next for Chelsea? What's up? What's next for Chelsea Ray? What's
I like that, Chelsea Ray. Like a little hug, because that's a lot of my fam call me that as well. That's like my name. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm actually just going to be hunkering down. I'm going to be taking a break from the travels, just a small break, maybe a couple of weeks, because I am at the end of my journey on this trip. Yeah. I do believe I know that it's very clear that the divine has orchestrated myself. A part of my purpose and like life in general is to be a traveler. That's both physically and spiritually as well. So I'm gonna be taking a break. I'm gonna be hunkering down and gathering all the content that I've accumulated that I haven't shared or haven't posted, and really share the journey and share the experience. So that's what
love
we
that.
got there. And then
And you're writing about it as well. You're
Mhm.
doing not only
Mhm.
your poetry, but you're
Mhm.
writing about
Yep.
it, and you're
Yeah.
sharing your
Mhm.
experience with other people.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I've been
So
documenting.
where can people reach out to you? Where can they get more information? How can they connect with you?
Mhm.
If they want to give to your journey, if they want to do anything, what is the best way to have them
Yeah.
contact you?
The best way right now is on my Instagram because that's where I have my link in bio,
Mhm.
which is my stand store, which is where everything is hosted at right now because I'm rebuilding TikTok. I'm not at 1,000 followers yet to put like the link and everything or like put the business account or whatnot. So everything is on my Instagram at C.Ray says. And my stand store hosts my GoFundMe, my In Good Faith Travel GoFundMe. For, by the way, anybody interested, it all sponsors my safe shelter transportation, food, water, and inner child play is what I say because it literally the beginning of this journey, it was a faith thing, and it was me learning to have that basic essentials, like how a lot of people are talking about what is it called, minimalism. I literally had to like literally go down to like it was just me in a duffel bag, me in a suitcase, and just like what I had in my heart. And I believe a part of my journey, that's what my spiritual team, my grandmothers, and Mother God has been teaching me along the way. Is like, hey kid, you can have all these multiple of things, especially these monetary or physical things, but a lot of the gems, it's already inside of you.
And so many of our ancestors did take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't even be here in this country
Exactly.
if they wouldn't have
Amen.
taken that leap of
Ashe.
faith, and if they wouldn't have, either taken whatever they had on their backs and went across the ocean to come to a whole new country and found a whole new country, or went across the lands and built
Yep.
civilizations. And I mean, it really takes that leap of faith to not only evolve and find the best journey for you, but also for us to cross cultures and learn about each other and really grow together as a world family. So I definitely honor your journey, and I am so honored that your last part of your journey was here with me, and that we got to spend some time. And I love that we've had a couple of fun adventures and really gotten to really just hear more about the things that you've gone through. It's truly been an honor.
Thank you.
So you guys, to contact Chelsea, all her information is down below. C.Ray, R-A-E, says, S-A-Y-S, C.Ray says, on TikTok and Instagram. You can find Chelsea Ray and follow more of her journey and also some of the past stuff. But yeah, so I love you, and thank you so much. I love you, girl.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Aw.
I appreciate it.
Yes. So good.
Thank you.
So good, sister.
Thank
Right
you.
on, guys. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Cats Out of the Bag with my sis here. Yes, she's had a fantastic journey, and I just encourage you guys to go find yourself and do whatever you need to do to heal that inner child. Play, go find the fun in the world. Remember that life doesn't have to be as serious as we make it out to be, and adulting can be a lot more fun than we make it sometimes. And sometimes you have to take that leap of faith, because it's important that you just go through your life without having regrets, without feeling like you held yourself back, and you don't want to go to your grave wondering what if you would have taken that chance, and what if you would have taken that leap of faith and gone out and just done whatever it is that you needed to do. So follow Chelsea's lead and do something courageous for your life. All right. I love you guys. Until next time, Cats Out of the Bag. Have a fantastic night, you guys. Take care for now.